Log into AWS Management Console and jump to Lambda console. To keep things moving, I have already prepared some mockup code for this multi-step account creation flow, mostly hard coding, as focus will be entirely on usage of Durable Execution SDK, durable operations, new configurations, Lambda console UI changes introduced with this feature. Before I open this already prepared durable function, I would like to create a new one to show you what exactly you will get once you create one durable function from scratch. Let's create function. In this page, you will find a new section, durable execution, and you need to enable this to add durable execution capability for building multi-step applications. At the time of recording of this video, only Node.js and Python runtimes are supported for Lambda durable execution. So if you choose any other runtime, for example Java 25, you'll see this is disabled. AWS releases updates very frequently. So maybe when you are watching this video, you may find more runtimes are supported. So feel free to check the documentation in case you are interested in different runtime. But for this demo, let's move back to Python runtime. Click enable, provide a function name, demo df, scroll down, change default execution role. So I'll choose create a new role because for Lambda durable execution, we need to specific permission added to this role. In case if you are going to use this existing role, then you need to add those two permission explicitly. Once this function is created, I'll show you which two permission I am talking about here. Scroll down, click create function, close, scroll down, maximize the code editor. Here you will notice few import from this AWS Durable Execution SDK Python. This is the new SDK provided for writing durable execution code. Then you will notice the Lambda handler with same method signature, but with durable execution decorator. This will enable durable execution capabilities for your Lambda function, and it provides durable context object instead of standard Lambda context, and it handles underlying checkpoint and replay mechanism. Durable context also facilitates access to different durable operations such as step, wait. So in this example, it is not doing much. It is calling that step function, my step, and then it will wait for 10 seconds. It will log this message and finally it will return the response. Durable step, it is decorated with durable step, and this is used to define a step within durable workflows. It provides access to step context and enables automatic retries based on retry strategy, and the return value gets saved in the underlying storage. And this will be used during replay phase. Basically, step represents a small business function that performs a single responsibility in our application. So if you are writing some business logic that needs to be retried, or you want automatic failover, or you are making calls to external API that needs to be checkpointed. So in that case, it's better to wrap all those logic inside step and invoke that step function using context.step durable function. And next here is wait durable operation. And this durable operation basically pause that execution for the specified duration. Here it is for 10 seconds. When it will wait, that time this Lambda execution environment will be released, and there will be no charge for this waiting time because there is no runtime. And once this wait time will be passed, replay will start. So it will start from the beginning and it will continue with this. Next, context logger. So context logger is little bit different from normal logger. It is replay hour. That means it will avoid logging duplicate messages during replays. So if it is already logged in the replay phase, it will be skipped. It also enrich log messages with extra execution related information such as execution ARN or person name, etc. You can also add custom metadata relevant to your application or logic using extra parameter. Finally, it is returning this response as outcome of this function. Before I deploy this code, let me show you one thing in the configuration. Permissions. Lambda Durable Execution has introduced these two new permissions, checkpoint durable execution and get durable execution state. When we created the function, I chose to create new role. So that's why it added these two automatically. But if you are going to use any existing role, then you have to add these two permission so that durable function works. Now let's go back to code. Click deploy. Once deployed, click test. Let's create a test event. T1. Leave everything as is. Save. Invoke. Lambda durable function has introduced this new tab, durable execution. This is where we can view and manage all the executions for our durable function. And also there is one section called durable configuration, and it has introduced two new configuration, execution timeout and retention period. So execution timeout, this controls the total elapsed time for the entire durable execution lifecycle, and it can go up to 1 year. And execution timeout is different from Lambda function timeout, which is 15 minutes. And retention period, this is the amount of time Lambda retains the durable execution history after completion of the execution. And that completion can be any terminal state like succeeded, failed, stopped, or timed out. And you can choose between 1 to 90 days. Default is 14 days. For this demo, let's cancel this. So under this durable executions, if you find any execution is still running, then you can stop it by clicking the stop. In our case, it already succeeded. So let's open this execution. And here in this first section, there are three tabs: details, input, output, and logger output. So in this details page, you will find high level details like what is the status of that execution, when it started, when it ended, how long it executed, what is the name of the execution, execution ARN, and the version of the Lambda that is used for the execution. And in the input output, you will see the input that we provided for this durable function and that output that we received from that execution. And that logger output, you will find all the logs that are emitted through durable function SDK logger, means context.logger. Scroll down. In the durable operations section, you will find all the durable operations associated with that execution. In our case, we have used only step and wait, and you will find all the status of each durable operations, their start time, end time, duration, etc. If you click info, you will find all the durable operations available through Lambda Durable SDK, such as step, invoke, to invoke another Lambda, and that Lambda can be normal standard Lambda or another durable Lambda. You wait, then wait for callback to making call to external system, and wait for the notification from there, and then wait for condition, parallel map, etc. Then the last section is event history. So though we are writing code in sequential manner, but underlying everything is event driven. So here you will find all the details, like for example, if I expand, you will get all the event details here. So step succeeded, what is the output, everything you will find in the event. If you click step, you will get all the details here, like what is the status of this particular step, start time, end time, duration, how many times it retried, what is the output of that step. For our example, its output is from my step 1 to 3. So when this execution will be successful, this is the data will be stored in the underlying storage and which will be retrieved during replay phase. And retry attempts, it will show you all the retry attempt and events associated with that particular step, such as step started, step succeeded. You can expand, you will get the same event details here, logger output. And here you will find all the logs that is emitted through durable function SDK logger within this step function. Now let's go back to details section. Execution name and version, these two play important role for durable execution. Execution name acts as idempotency key and it helps to avoid creating duplicate executions, whereas versions helps to ensure consistency because all running or in progress executions continue to use original version even if you deploy new versions for your function. I'll discuss this in details in the next demo, and in fact I'll show you how these things are used. Let's go back and delete this function. Demo, delete, confirm, delete. Here durable function demo.df is being deleted, but this function will remain available in read-only mode until all in progress execution completes. Once Lambda durable function is deleted, you can still have access to execution history through CloudWatch logs, or you can use SAM CLI or AWS CLI or AWS API to get the execution history using execution ARN. Now I'll show you another demo, multi-step account creation workflow. In this demo, we'll cover some advanced topic like chained invocations, manual workflow using wait for callback operation, use of execution name to avoid duplicate executions, exponential backoff for retries, use of Lambda versions and alias, security and permissions, monitoring, and few more best practices.